Hey, what's up everybody? Frank Valkyrie, welcome to the channel. How you guys doing? Today I'm a little bit mobile, so bear with me. But let's get into the video already. First of all, let me know how you're doing in the comments below. And later I'll let you know where I'm at. So one day I'm off and boom, there is already the mainstream media going crazy. Obviously, this is probably mirrored, so you cannot read it. But I'll read it for you. And it says, not a bunch of gibberish, but mainstream media going crazy about Johnny Depp dating the lawyer that helped him in the UK trial. And they go like, Johnny Depp is dating married lawyer, Joelle, who worked on this UK libel trial. It's serious. How do they know? Well, this was reported also from TMZ, but I just want to show you, like, this is going crazy with like articles after articles about this. Absolutely nuts. You can read it, but it's the news, Eddy.nl, page 6, The Telegraph, TMZ, People magazine. It's like everybody saying the same thing. But anyway, let's see what it's interesting about this. Well, it seems that Joelle, the UK lawyer which helped him in the trial, it's mostly working on those type of cases, defamation cases, and I'm not surprised that perhaps after a long period of working together, maybe they developed a bond. That can be. That's what happens when people hang out together for a long time and they share something. So there is a possibility. I don't see naturally any wrongdoing here. Of course, this was the woman that already many times was seen also in the Virginia trial, and people were wondering who she was. As you can see, the mainstream media, some of them is already choosing to take the, let's say, the more salty part, salient thing about the life of this person, and misusing it to create, let's say, clickbaity title or title that they can suggest something more to what it is, like Johnny Depp is dating a married woman. How about that? So obviously, if you read more carefully, also on TMZ here, you realize that she is married legally, but they're in the process of divorcing with their husband. So there is that. But mainstream media, of course, chooses to focus on that because people were speculating a lot whether or not Camille was, you know, kind of more like romantically involved with JD, but then turned out not to be the case. So, I mean, those are older pictures of them hanging out. I don't know how TMZ managed to do this. Rich was not part of the Virginia trial team that beat Amber H, but she was present in court for support. This according to US Weekly, which broke the story. I didn't know US Weekly broke the story. Lots of folk who followed the Virginia trial were convinced Johnny and Camilla were together. That's what I just said. So now there is all of this, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be already a lot of also hatred coming from the Amber stands and the people, which they just cannot suffer for this man to actually have a good relationship. And it's very fascinating because there is something of this news probably that nobody is talking about, which is that Joelle, she's a lawyer that mostly specialized in those defamation cases online, on the internet, and so on and so forth. So I find that to be, first of all, quite soothing and kind of appropriate. And also, if anything, like I was saying, it tells us something that is quite fascinating because, let's put it this way, this is a woman that is fighting against defamation for many, many cases. Now I cannot bring up a particular case that she worked on. And she chooses to side with JD, right? She chose to perhaps date JD. We don't know, again, if this is 100% accurate. But the part that I find amusing is that, if anything, tells you more about the validity and the character of Johnny Depp. You know, somebody that takes her profession seriously and is so involved to fight for just cause like this, for instance. I don't think they would be attracted by any means to somebody that it's, you know, a perpetrator of DV, the so-called monster, the guy that does all kinds of heinous things to women in general. He has always done that. So it's fascinating because probably this woman knows JD already for years, so probably she had the chance to see this man in action. And if even more, if they are romantically involved, I don't think a woman like that, which, again, I don't know her, but she seemed to be quite a, like they say, a high-quality woman, a high-quality individual. So I have this sense that she will not tarnish her name, even for a celebrity, if the quality of the subject in question, which is JD, wouldn't be at par. You know, JD, of course, has had this issue in life, like many people, but he turned around. You know, there's a lot of people which tend to abuse themselves with alcohol and other stuff, which they don't necessarily have to be those type of people that perpetrate other thing against others, DV against others. Sometimes it's just self-inflicted things, and a lot of people struggle with those type of demons, and he managed to overcome that. So again, the fact that he managed to go through this whole trial, people are still trying to tarnish his name. For instance, like this article that alleges he's marrying a married woman, instead of focusing on the fact that probably the guy is just moving on. And if he has an intimate relationship, all the better. That means that you have another woman that you can draw from, in case this guy was really what the other woman was saying he was. And it seems he's not. Not that we needed a confirmation, but the fact that with this type of women, which most likely would not take probably BS from anybody, I suppose. I think, of course, I'm just assuming here, but I get this sense, you know, somebody that you date for many years, if it's the case, knows JD, and I think it's just more probable than not that she knows the guy is a good guy, is a nice person, is a proper person, is a person of principle, that he has turned his life around because he had personal problems with addictions, but that's a different ballpark. And again, you have another woman that knows JD intimately that probably can testify to that. And we have seen many, including all of his ex-girlfriends or wife. Wasn't really the wife. I don't know if Vanessa Paradis was the wife, but they were together for 14 years. Even Kate Moss came to testify for Johnny Depp at the trial. So the women that came forth, which were part of his life, had nothing to say but good thing about this guy. So again, this other woman, you know, dating him, actually, to me, it proves even further that most likely JD is really good person. You know, nobody will last this long with somebody that has a history, especially when you have the warnings. That's what I'm trying to say. Of course you can if you're in a strange, very toxic relationship, but you're working with this guy about defamation, right? So it's already a red flag. You're working on this guy that is being accused of something, right? So that's a red flag. You choose to hang out with this guy. You get to know him for years. You dug into the truth and you find out that perhaps it was a lie. And in the meanwhile, while you get to know this guy, you find out that actually most likely it's a proper person, a really good guy with a good soul. Because the premise is that you're starting to get into somebody already with a ton of red flags. No sane person, even if he's a celebrity, will just decide to start a relationship with a very dangerous individual, you know, with that kind of premise. You do it because over time, by digging in the truth and knowing the person, you find out that all of those probably was more BS than anything. And again, I'm just assuming this. Let me know if you agree with me on this kind of train of thoughts. And I can only wish JD actually happiness. I hope, you know, he's having, for whatever time this relationship goes, if it's true, wish him well. Healing. You know, there's nothing more wonderful than actually find a companion for whatever time in your life that you can actually help each other, that you can nourish each other, and that you can set on a course of both healing and nurturing, that it's so incredibly valuable and powerful to move on and to feel good. You know, it's like really soul restorative, you know, the opposite of probably what he experienced with that other woman. So we can only wish him luck. Guys, let me know your thoughts on this. Leave a comment. Please consider subscribing. I'll talk to you later and I'll show you around. Ciao.